Hi, welcome to the first episode of the Mosiki Podcast. On this podcast, we'll be discussing the latest alternative Pakistani music, culture, and anything else really. For this episode, we have a special guest, Yasser Puri. If you watch MangoBaaz video content, you'll definitely recognize him from there. He is a filmmaker and a content creator. On this episode, we'll be discussing that Coke Studio song, the lack of pop stars in Pakistan, vlogging as an exciting, upcoming new digital subculture, and much more. If you like it, please do subscribe and let us know what you think. Thanks. I just written Coke Studio on here, and the obvious talking point is.
I already Korina. Told you about my feedback on Coke Studio, which is that unfortunately इस साल मैंने एक भी गाना नहीं सुना except for, well, you can guess it.
Unfortunately, क्यों? Actually, yeah, that is a very unfortunate state of affairs. The one song you heard.
No, but I do think कि हमारी एक आदत तो है कि we hate and love on Coke Studio, and I think
और ज़्यादा hate करना चाहिए.
नहीं, hate मुझे नहीं लगता ज़्यादा करना चाहिए, because हर season कोई ना कोई अच्छे गाने आते हैं इस पूरे initiative से, और मैं उसी को appreciate करता तो हूँ.
What a diplomatic answer.
No, yeah. It's not a it's genuinely what I feel.
Okay, what did you think about Korina? What did you think about the song then?
क्या Korina?
Obviously.
या नहीं, I obviously देखो, जब मैंने उसको देखा और सुना ना, मैं यही सोच रहा था, मेरे दिमाग में तो यही चल रहा था कि obviously they've been very 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 strategic and very smart about making this song with Pakistan's sexy boy and sexy girl, you know, sexy boy and sexy girl together.
Yes.
ठीक है? Every woman is crazy about Ahad Razamir, and every guy is crazy about Momina Mustahsin.
Even if they don't admit it.
Everyone admits it. But my point is that अगर उन्होंने ये दोनों बंदा और बंदी को साथ लेकर आके एक गाना बनाया है, and that too is Korina, the all-time classic, one of the classics of Pakistani cinema, तो उन्होंने एक strategic तरीके से किया है. अब
You call it strategic, I call it cynical.
No, I call it very, very strategic, because at the end of the day, we see...
That's an algorithm.
Do you see what
decision.
we're doing? Yeah. Do you see what you and I are doing right now? We're talking about it or not?
Yeah.
That's what they wanted.
That's what they wanted.
And they've gotten it.
They've gotten it.
If we're talking about it,
they wanted.
if everybody is talking about
they
it,
win.
That's all they wanted. And they win. So... the point is that they were on point when it came to putting these two people together with that song and saying कि बस record करो. वो अलग बात है कि
जो भी record करना है
अब देखो अब when you watch it and you listen to the song, you're like ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. लेकिन when you just listen to it, if you ever, I've not yet listened to it on the radio. If I were to ever listen to it on the radio, I would be like, it doesn't really sound all that great, you know. Unfortunately, and I would, you know, maybe just sing along with it because it's still catchy. I would still maybe sing along with it, or maybe I just change the channel. But if I listen to some of the older Coke Studio stuff,
of course,
I would always be like, wow.
True.
You know, there's a lot of old Coke Studio stuff which is like, wow.
I'm not a full-on hater.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of the other stuff
is
good.
That's why I say there's a lot of good stuff in there.
I would just say that I think the reason that there's been so much hate on this in particular was exactly the reason that you've said, was that it was such a strategic song. Do you know what I mean? It felt like it had been made by people sitting behind computer screens, looking at statistics and Facebook engagement and likes and you know, Google Analytics and whatever, and that's why it felt so that's why it felt so empty and just kind of like, why am I listening to this? If a computer is spitting this out to me, then there's no soul left in the music, and that's what I think is also.
There's no soul in that song. Don't just say there's no soul in the music. There's no soul in that song. I think
when you make music by those on that basis, which is like what's going to get us the most amount of engagement, I don't think that there's any soul left in the music.
True.
And I think that's. I mean, like I actually think Momina is a really good singer. I have no idea about singing theory or anything like that. I just know that I like hearing her sing. I think one of her issues is precisely this: is that all of her decisions feel totally
That's because
made
she's
in a
got
boardroom.
a team around her. Not that team is sort of guiding her in a certain manner, and there are certain big brands involved with her which are also guiding her in a certain manner.
But this is
And
the
I
this is the
understand
thing, right? Like
वो
in the
चीज़ें-
US, you have pop stars, right?
हाँ,
Like huge pop stars,
yeah,
and they often start from these very
humble beginnings.
I wouldn't even say humble. I'd say like children's TV show beginnings.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like
No,
whether
that's
it's
more recent though.
Selena
what you're talking
Gomez,
about. Sure,
Disney
sure.
Disney kids, right?
Huh.
So like Selena
A lot
Gomez
of them
or
have
Taylor
made
Swift
it.
or
Huh.
whatever, whoever it is. They always start from these very innocent beginnings as they're growing up. Then they're latched onto by these agencies or PR agencies or whatever. But the thing is that they play it very well, right? So they know that they...
That's because the agencies are much more mature. Over here, the agencies aren't as mature about safeguarding or taking care of their artists. They're just, it's as simple as, where's the money? The brands have the money. Okay, I have to attach my artist with this brand and get this thing going. And it's as simple as that, because
without
at the end of the
realizing
day,
that there's
everybody,
actually like a life cycle for that specific... Like, for instance, Taylor Swift, right, is a very good example, I think.
okay,
Because she started her career as this like country like
music,
goody
yes,
two shoes,
yes.
like a young girl artist, like making it in...
and then she went
wherever.
more into pop.
And then she went this big left turn where she went to pop, and then
Yeah.
very much like Bad Girl, I'm a Bad Girl.
as everyone does.
As almost everyone does now,
Yes.
yeah. Selena Gomez has done the same thing.
Yes.
Miley Cyrus did the same thing to terrible
Britney
effect.
did, Christina
Britney,
did,
yeah.
all of them did.
All of them have realized that you can't be boring, basically.
Yes.
If you're a pop star, the worst thing to do is be boring.
And
And
you
you-
have to, sell a little bit of sex in between.
I guess, yeah. I mean, they realized
at the end of the day, eventually that's what happened. Nah? They had to be more obvious about it. Initially, it was always very
behind the girl next door.
innocent.
Yes.
But eventually, it just used to be more obvious.
But I'd even say about the guys, right? Like even I'm trying
Yes,
to think.
all of
Even
them.
Zayn Malik, right?
Yes.
Like he went from a very goody two shoes one direction, and then
Yes.
he all of a sudden made Pillow Talk.
आप किसी को भी
You know,
देख लो, all the boy bands also,
All the
through
boy
the boy bands also, even Justin Timberlake went through a similar thing of goody two shoes, afro, blonde hair guy
Yeah.
dating Britney Spears
Frosted
to
tips.
eventually the first album he came out was very much Michael Jackson inspired.
What was the first album again? Future Sounds, no?
No, before Future Sounds.
Before Future Sounds.
Future Sounds was second album. The
Oh, okay,
first
okay,
one
okay.
was very much Michael Jackson inspired.
Sexy Back. Which one was Sexy Back on? Future Sounds.
I'm bringing Sexy Back. That one?
Yeah. I mean,
I
yeah.
don't remember it. Anyways, the point is that even the guys have gone through this transition
Yeah.
of going from completely goody guys to sex symbols to
Unpredictable.
mature musicians. कह लो.
Unpredictability, I think, is a big factor in that. You can't
Always,
be. You can't
always.
be predictable.
I mean, no, all of these artists go through that unpredictable period. Even Justin
I'm on drugs,
even
I'm
Justin
on-
Bieber
yeah.
did. Bieber went through the most of all of this, most publicized one, because it sells their brand. It sells a lot of those paparazzi magazines and all those pictures and all. I mean, before Instagram, it was all about those magazines.
Okay, but here's where I'm conflicted, right? Because while I see, we've talked about all these pop artists, right? And we've talked about how engineered all of their images are.
Yes.
By literally probably a huge team of people who are telling them, this is your next move. This is
everyone
your next...
gets their personal team.
Probably. And in the case of some people, it's probably like, okay, this is who you should date next. This is who you should, this is when you
I
should
don't know
break
if
up.
that happens as much now
I don't know,
than
man.
it
Like,
used
it sounds
to.
very, some of it is
In the early 2000s, it used to happen a lot. Now it becomes too obvious.
I mean, you look at Bollywood though.
हाँ, बॉलीवुड में अब बॉलीवुड तो 10 साल पीछे है ना हॉलीवुड से, तो दैट्स व्हाई इट्स हैपनिंग इन बॉलीवुड नाउ.
लेकिन
हॉलीवुड में अब इतना ज्यादा ये चीज नहीं होती है, लेकिन जो भी होता है वो भी तरीके से ही होता है.
ठीक है. So
सब इन्वॉल्व
we've
होते हैं.
established that it's engineered in some way.
सब लोग एजेंट सब इन्वॉल्व होते हैं इन चीजों में. हाँ,
Right. So
it's a
we know-
business.
Yeah, it's a business. So things are engineered, things are driven by an agency.
Yes.
There's a team of people behind Taylor Swift.
इंशाल्लाह एक दिन आएगा कि पाकिस्तान में भी ऐसा
नहीं.
होगा. बहुत
नहीं, नहीं, नहीं,
sophisticated तरीकेकार होंगे
नहीं, नहीं,
जिसमें
नहीं, but okay,
आर्टिस्ट को
here's
इस
my
तरह
thing. Here's my
जो
thing
कि एक
about-
मुमना के साथ हो भी रहा है.
This is okay.
Yes.
Here's the segue.
हाँ,
Right? Ready for it?
हाँ,
So even though I know that there's a team of people behind Taylor Swift,
sure.
her music did get more interesting.
Sure.
Even though there's a team of people behind whichever band, at least their music gets interesting in the sense that...
That's because they need the music over there. You don't need the music over here.
No, as in like the agency realizes that their music has to get more interesting in order to sell more tickets. Do you know what I mean? Like it has to have some kind of conflict in it.
Sure.
And that's why the US...
It's like Bob Dylan going from acoustic to electric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some kind of conflict. You need some kind of artistic jump.
Yeah.
Which is something that crazily the agencies over there have realized. And we still haven't realized. So Momina is still potentially locked into a certain kind of branded state, which is the brand is like, okay, she sells for that image. Whereas really, maybe, I don't know, I mean, like, I realize we're taking all agency away from her right now. It's like what she wants to do, but it's kind of tough to take her as a genuine artist when she works with so many brands, right? Because then your agency is immediately stripped away anyway. It's not that she's a woman or that we're saying, oh, she's just a part of this system. When you work with brands, immediately you lose that element of like personal choice, I guess, when you work with Sprite.
Because you have to listen to a lot of what their execs have to say, and you have to follow a lot of the things that they need from you.
Right.
They're paying you for it.
Whereas,
make sure that when you take this bite of this food, it feels very, very mirchi.
Yeah. And after that mirch you need... After that mirch you need a gulp of Sprite.
Obviously. But make sure that Daniel Zafar is standing next to you when you're taking that gulp.
Yeah, and you're dressed in green or whatever. So I guess, I don't know what to say. I mean, I guess this idea of pop stars being super boring here now. You know, okay, Hadika Kiani came out with an album recently.
Yes.
Vajd. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but whatever. And it was a cover of folk songs, right? So she did Jab Tilak and...
I think I heard one song only,
I liked it. It was nice. She has a great voice. She's an icon, essentially.
Yes.
Lekin, wohi baat hai na ke she could have been a pop star, I feel. I mean, I could say this a lot about a lot of other people.
It's her choice. If she did not pursue that path of making sure that she wanted to be a big... It's not just the audience. It's how you position yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think she positioned herself in that manner. She never positioned herself as a pop star. She had some songs that were maybe of that sort, and she's got a lot of diversity in her discography. So I cannot say that she would have the same type of fans that maybe right now Momina has, or maybe Nazia Hassan at her time had, you know. So Hadika Kiani has, I think, I don't know how to I mean, I've not heard a lot of her stuff. Jitna maine suna hai, mujhe to yahi samajh mein aata hai. At least the image that she puts out of herself is what I can comment on, which is that she's got a very mature image and she's sensible and she knows what she's doing. And whenever she wants to put out music, she does. And whenever she doesn't, she just goes away and does her own thing, which I think she has her own thing also on the side. Or maybe that's her main thing. Maybe music is her side thing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That was me taking agency away from someone by saying you should have been a pop star. You should have been what I wanted you to be.
One wishes, no?
I personally, I mean,
because Hadika Kiani, if she was a pop star, she would have been a great pop star.
In the 90s, you would expect someone like...
No, if she was... No, even right now, pop. Even today, if she was a big star, you would have wanted her to be the Madonna of today.
Or,
maybe.
or
like a big star, or Beyonce of today.
Bjork even, I was
thinking. Bjork of Pakistan. Lekin yehi hai na ke it's... I don't really... See, I don't put... blame or credit towards a group of people, a big group of people. I usually think of everything in much smaller circles. Like when you were talking about subculture, I was thinking to myself, it's all about friends. If friends keep doing something regularly and they bring in more friends, and that becomes a subculture, and that eventually develops into something. Even when it comes to an artist, if an artist takes a certain decision and then because of that, you know that other artists are going to take similar decisions. If it's beneficial for them, then it's going to be beneficial for the industry. The little decisions, the little things do matter a lot.
One thing I wanted to discuss,
was
so obviously I grew up for the majority of my life in England. And I know for you as well, you spent I'd say a significant time abroad.
Yes.
As in-
Most of my life is abroad.
Most of your life is abroad. So same with me. I lived most of my life in England, and
How old are you?
I'm 27.
So see, you're 27. I was at least 25 before I came back to Pakistan.
Huh. So I came back
I-
when I was 25 almost as well.
Yeah. So you're in the same boat as I am.
Very, very similar boats.
Did you visit in between during the 25 years and
Yeah,
visit
we used to come
frequently?
back almost every summer.
See, so even though you used to come back almost every summer, I would come back maybe every 2-3 years later. And yet I feel like you're more probably Gora than myself when
Definitely.
I came back.
But I think it's because my parents had like immigrant guilt, which was like they felt like they needed to bring their kids back to Pakistan for them to understand what culture really
Pakistan is.
what Pakistan is, so that they don't forget. Make sure the kids don't get too gora.
और हमारे साथ I don't think it was a case of कि वापस लेकर आओ to make sure that they're not Gora. It was just a matter of जब convenient हो गया तो फिर वापस आ गए. Otherwise, I don't think our parents had that concern that are we being too non-Pakistani or Pakistani. Yeah, there was none of that concern. I think the only thing that we had was we actually felt, myself and my brother always felt like we wanted to come back and just visit occasionally.
I mean, that feels a lot more authentic to me, rather than this kind of
that was
like
the thing
we have to go back every summer.
No. The thing with us was we always knew एक time आएगा when we will come back. We always knew that it was the amount of time that we've spent abroad is eventually limited because our father would retire from his position and we would eventually be in Pakistan. So that ways, yeah, we were pretty certain. We were, at least myself, I can speak for myself in that we always looked forward to, I looked forward to the day that eventually I would be back in Pakistan.
And I know my parents didn't think the same about us. Like they were not expecting us to come back, I think.
So when you are back right now, are they surprised?
I think they are very surprised. As in, whenever I talk to my mom, she's always like, so how are you finding it? It's been like 2 years and she's like, when she calls me these days, she's like, how are you finding it? Yeah, are you okay?
Maza aa raha hai?
You don't regret it, do you? And she knows my answer is no, that's why she asks.
Wapas to nahi jana.
Huh. She's like, do you ever miss it? And I'm like, I've told you like 50 times, no, I don't miss it. Because she likes hearing that though.
So
she likes hearing the fact that I
and
don't
you do
miss it.
mean it also.
I genuinely do mean it.
And that's
but
a good thing.
That leads into the first talking point, which
Here
is
we go.
mainly, which is about subculture abroad and subculture here.
ठीक है. You're going to have to elaborate a little bit.
Well, specifically, I guess, talking about music subcultures. So like whether it's about gigs or any kind of culture. Okay, so obviously in London you have
Too many subcultures.
Too many subcultures on a way.
Like they exist over here also, but they're just not as many.
Right. So say if you really love going to the theatre, you could go to the theatre any day of the week in London and there'd be 100 shows going on all across the city.
You can go to the theatre over here also.
You can go to the theatre here as well, but there might be one show a week. Or
it's not one show, but they'd be limited and the quality of theatre that you would get would vary much more.
So you would get theatre, but it might be a very...
मतलब आप यहाँ पे जाके पंजाबी शो भी देख सकते हैं, कोई मतलब के एक अच्छा सा आर्टसी प्ले भी कहीं जाके देख सकते हैं, या किसी के घर में कोई परफॉर्मेंस हो रहा है तो वो भी देख सकते हैं, या आप कोई मुजरा हो रहा है वो भी देख सकते हैं, या कोई शादी का कोई इवेंट हो रहा है वो भी देख सकते हैं.
So it's like levels of magnitude less amount, but it's still happening.
Of course, everywhere in the world something or another is happening. It's just a matter of do you know about it or not. And यहाँ पे अक्सर हमारे साथ तो यही होता है कि generally we don't know about it. And तो हम सोचते हैं कि कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा. हो तो बहुत कुछ रहा होता है. Of course हो रहा होता है.
But that's my question, right? So is it a question, I mean, for me it's not just a question of amount. Obviously that's different, right? But the subculture that I would go to, so obviously I was very much into music in London, so I try and see a show a week. I used to write for this blog for free, but he would get me tickets into any show, basically.
That's a very good setup.
So he would be like, do you want to write a review for this show? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And then he'd get me two tickets for that show, and I'd go and see it, and I'd write about it the next week, and then it'd be like that on a rolling basis every week. So, and then you realize, when you get into that, you realize, man, London has something going on every day of the week.
Exactly.
And so much stuff that you have no idea about until you like sort of even scratch the surface.
Absolutely.
And
और ये मेरे साथ बहुत होता था. I used to check out Time Out magazine for what's happening in the city, and you know that Time Out magazine only has the mainstream stuff.
Time Out is only the mainstream
Exactly.
stuff, but you'd still
it's
check
like
it.
for the masses. But I would still check out what's happening on Time Out just to see कि अच्छा Time Out has a London edition and they have all these listings, so might as well check it out. There might be something interesting. I wish there was a Time Out Pakistan editions over here so that we could have more of an information as to what's going on. यहाँ पे पता नहीं बीच में मुझे और भी कुछ ये देखो मुझे ये कह रहा है What are you trying to say? The availability of subculture is much more siphoned and isolated to general public who would otherwise be interested in such scenes. It's all about friends doing things amongst friends.
Absolutely.
Rather than being open to the masses.
Absolutely.
So subculture is about friends and friends rather than masses.
I think that's how subculture starts that way usually. It's just like
By the way, this was a note that I read out provided to me by
a fan.
Person sitting next to me being my brother and my bhabhi. But yes, so getting back to the...
So the point is, obviously, okay, London mein, there's a crazy amount happening, and in Lahore, you feel like, what's there to do other than food? At least that's what sometimes I feel.
Okay.
So the question is, how do you get from A to B? What's the beginning process to get from something where you feel like, okay, I feel like there's nothing to do, this even like in a week I haven't done anything, or even this weekend I feel like there's nothing other than like private parties or whatever, to a state where you can be like, there's thriving subcultures around the city.
How do you get to the thriving part? Is that your question?
What are the steps? Because I think first you have to know the steps, and then you can,
No, I don't really think... Whoever knows the steps. These are things that happen organically.
Okay, let me ask a more specific question, or more personal question, because that's a ridiculously open-ended. You spent some time in Canada, right?
Yes, I did.
So what was your experience there of experiencing subcultures?
I did not experience any subcultures over there because I did not really indulge in them. I wish I had. Honestly speaking, I wish I had.
Any place abroad where you feel like, okay, yeah, I got into something that was niche, like, or had a limited audience, but still found its place.
Good example would be, would you consider, let's say I was not personally involved in skateboarding, but a bunch of my friends were very much into skateboarding.
Skateboarding is a huge subculture now.
Okay? So skateboarding wise, what used to happen, and this is in Hong Kong. When we used to live in Hong Kong, most of my friends were very much into skateboarding. And they were very much motivated by the skateboarding videos that we would collectively watch.
Those fisheye ones with the big fisheye lenses. Yeah.
Yes. I personally was not that into skateboarding, but I was more into rollerblading.
the lame version of
the nerdy edition of the same thing, but just the nerd of.
But I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to fall.
So I would very conveniently say, just hand me the camera and I'll do the filming.
Oh, the rollerbladers were doing that, right?
Yes.
They were doing the filming mostly because it was much smoother.
Exactly. So it worked out perfectly. I was the rollerblading guy with the camera, and hence I'm still behind the camera.
Yeah.
And they would do their tricks, and we would watch a lot of videos, and we would try to attempt a lot of different types of tricks, and we would a lot of times get chased by security guards in different areas around Hong Kong, and that was the adventure. I did not know
you were a skate boy. You were part of the skate pack.
Yeah, I was very much part of, and to this day, that's how I actually took an interest in Spike Jonze.
He started with skate
because he started off with skateboarding.
Yeah.
So that thing really appealed to me. Any which ways, the subculture in Hong Kong there's a very, very interesting dynamic of these expats and these locals very much into skateboarding, all of them together. And we used to just make our own skate videos, and we used to think to ourselves कि यार एक दिन हम भी इसी तरह जिस तरह इनके जो international skate videos बनती हैं, हम भी इसी तरह कुछ videos बना के दे देंगे.
But in Hong Kong as like a group of diverse kids.
Yes. Like
so
my group of friends, I'll tell you my group of friends included Chinese जो कि वहाँ के local थे, as well as a lot of expats. My best friend was an American Jewish person who had his ancestors from Israel, and my other best friend was a Palestinian मुसलमान जो मेरे साथ रिलेट करता था जब भी रमज़ान होता था तो फिर we used to be like it's Ramzan, even though I did not used to fast at that time in Hong Kong because I was very, very young. But it was very interesting कि किस तरह my Israeli friend, Jewish friend, and my Palestinian Muslim friend were also really close together, even though politically speaking, politics-wise, though they should be fighting with each other.
Sounds like a scripted movie about like an Israeli Palestinian skaters
and
making
a
movies
Pakistani
in Hong Kong.
guy in between also in there. But yeah, so we had a lot of our friends, like British people, people from other places around the world, and we used to all get together. Americans, British, this guy Israeli, this guy Palestinian, myself Pakistani, some local Chinese people. All of us used to get together and make these skate videos.
So my question is, you're making these videos.
Yes.
What did you do with them? Did you ever have a feeling like, oh, I wish this...
We
because
never...
you said at the beginning that you felt like, I wish that we could be on the international...
Sure, deep down inside we used to think that,
right,
but I don't think we actually went for it.
Okay.
Because we were still like 13, 14, 15 years old,
okay,
you know?
Okay.
So it was nothing serious. It was just for fun. बीच में बीबी गन निकाल के लोगों को शूट करना शुरू कर दिया में just to have a laugh, you know?
Right.
That's what was going on.
So nothing came of it in any... Like did anyone take interest?
No, nobody did, actually.
Just the security guards who took you out.
They took it very seriously.
Yeah. But that's interesting.
Subculture wise देखो ना अब मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि देखो हम हांगकांग में थे, a bunch of random group of kids from all over the world get together because of our shared like classroom. We used to all go to the same school, and how we went about making these skate videos together. That in itself, I guess, is a subculture because we just took an interest.
But that's also a subculture that's essentially started abroad,
in the
right?
States, yes.
Because you were watching their videos and you were pretty much aping them.
We wanted to imitate them.
Yeah, it's imitation. So in a way, you have a blueprint, I guess, of something to
look up to imitate. Yes.
Yeah. So you're putting fisheye on your lenses or whatever, or you're aping all those effects.
Yes.
But I guess the question is like, how do you even begin that process to have? I mean, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine skate kids here with like video, like building up their own video infrastructure? Even though it should be much easier now. Even though I know
infrastructure यहाँ पे हो तो रहा है इतना ज़्यादा.
I know that Irfan Janeja did something about skate crews in like.
No, I don't know about that, but आप वैसे ही vlogging यहाँ पे देखो तो that in itself is a subculture now.
Yeah, that's true.
A very big one now.
Even though I don't like to think of it as a subculture because it's not something that's in like in and of itself.
No,
interesting.
It is. It's why not? देखो,
okay,
I understand where you're coming from, which is
something community based.
मतलब?
Vlogging is a very individualistic thing, no?
It's but this is what surprises me. I'm sorry, no. This is what surprises me in Pakistan. And this is again because we've been here now. At least I've been here for the past now 9 years. I've seen at least in the past 3 years or so, 2 years, like कह लो, कि ever since Junejo's sort of success कह लें या क्या कह सकते हैं इसको, sort of
success,
his audience really taking over and him having a great loyal fan base. मैंने तो यही notice किया कि vlogging is something that one should definitely call a subculture in itself because they are a community. When I see when at least in a couple of events I've seen certain young upcoming vloggers get together with other vloggers, they usually meet and they usually exchange a lot of I won't say content related stuff, but वैसे ही उनकी camaraderie बीच में बहुत ज़्यादा होती है.
That's true.
उनके बीच में camaraderie इतनी होती है कि
quite inspiring वैसे.
It's very, very surprising to me when I saw it for the first time probably a year ago at वो जो हुआ था ना The Mix में मैंने ये देखा था कि यार young bloggers were coming up to me and meeting me, and the other young, like not just one, then there would be 2-3 of them together all coming together to meet me. and it would be interesting how I would see them interact with each other. And they would all give each other, you know, chalo shout out de do, chalo subscribe wali cheez de do. Choti cheez hai, lekin it means a lot just to support one another, just to be like, अच्छा तुम्हारा channel क्या है, अच्छा तुम्हारा ये channel है, चलो मैं तुम्हें subscribe करता हूँ, चलो ठीक है, we'll all follow one another. And this is what I was overhearing their conversations, that they're all sort of taking interest in each other's channels and sort of seeing कि अच्छा तुम क्या कर, हालांकि कर तो सब एक ही जैसी चीज़ कर रहे हैं, ठीक है ना. That's हाँ, हम कभी बार थोड़ा सा इस पे कहते हैं कि यार व्लॉगिंग में या व्लॉगर्स को थोड़ा सा अलग चीज़ करना चाहिए, अपना डिफाइन करना चाहिए. सब कर तो एक ही चीज़ रहे हैं, लेकिन एटलीस्ट they're doing it in a very friendly manner, and there's a certain camaraderie amongst themselves.
Well, that's what I was about to say, right? In my head, it was something that's very individual. You are literally selfieing yourself, speaking into the camera.
On a day-to-day basis, yes.
On a day-to-day basis, it's very individualistic, not in a bad way, but it is individualistic. And I would say subculture has to be something that is community-based. But what you've just said indicates that it has a community aspect that's very important to them, which is that you do meet up and you do connect with each other about vlogging, about like how to get new subscribers, about what kind of content you're making and stuff like this.
Or having collabs. They love to have collabs. You know?
Yeah.
Collabs are, you know, the best way to sort of develop that community thing. And it's happening a lot, not just with the vloggers, but it's happening a lot with the content creators especially in Karachi. With at least the musicians, there is a certain roadmap for people to know how they're going to eventually make money. Maybe not a lot of money, but whatever money they're going to make, they know how they're going to make money. Vloggers and content creators still to this day, a lot of them, majority of them don't know how they're going to make money. Because of which, maybe there is that element of non-competitiveness. And there's a little bit more competition in the music industry because they know that eventually they have to sort of compete with one another for an audience and to make money. That's one theory that I have, that I've just thought of right now.
You mean it's so new that everyone is now just like getting together and be like, yo, we need to figure this out together.
Content creation and vlogging is too new that people are going to be competitive with one another or be at all negative to one another. They're all going to be very positive and they're all going to try to make things work for each other so that things actually work for themselves. And they can justify this field of work to themselves, their family, and their friends. Whereas music, there is still some examples of success. Hence, people tend to be maybe more competitive, maybe.
I think that's possible.
That's my theory for now.
But I kind of wish, like even now, just having nothing to do with the vlogging community, I kind of wish it was more like that. That it had the opposite. And
well,
like
you
this
feel like you wish it was more friendly in the music industry.
I mean, listen, I'm not part of the Lahore music scene. I'm not part of any kind of music scene, and but from what I've heard from people, it's not nice.
Acha?
Let's say that much, yeah. As in people parde ho jate hain, people have beef with each other all the time, and it's just sort of, it feels like, to me, it just sounds unnecessary. It's like, why aren't you talking to that guy? Why is that not happening? Or why is this collab not occurring? And they'll just be like, oh, it's just not happening. You know, I'm just not talking to that person, or they're just not very nice to work with, or whatever. So whether it's like artistic sensibilities, which is maybe not as apparent in vlogging, maybe they don't think of themselves as like artists in the same way that a musician might think of himself as or herself as an artist.
Maybe. Because I'll say one thing, I mean, these days, the way that at least a lot of these content creators or vloggers are getting up and saying that we want to try this out, I don't really think that they're doing it because they feel creative necessarily. I feel like they're just doing it because it's something that they can explore. And maybe it might be fun, you know, like try कर लेते हैं, देख लेते हैं क्या होता है. वीडियो बनानी है तो कुछ एडिटिंग सीख लेंगे और कैमरे अपने ऊपर डाल के ज़रा देख लेंगे, बातचीत करके या लोगों को रिकॉर्ड करके देख के उसको एडिट करके देख लेंगे. Whereas music might be thought of as a little bit more of a creative endeavor, maybe. Again, we're just, I think, sidetracking, no?
No, I think it's interesting.
Are we still on point?
I think we're still on point because I think it's really interesting to see how vlogging as a new subculture, as a very digital subculture,
हाँ.
is trying. Like I think, like I'm just trying to see if there's something to learn from that.
I'll give you another
for
example.
the music scene in because it's
Okay,
it's
okay.
evident
I'll
that
give
it's
you
not
another
going anywhere.
example.
No, a second before you go there. The reason why I wanted to say this was that we went to a Sikandar Kamanda show last month.
Yes, I love it.
And it was great. It was great sound. They're a great band.
Kamanda rocks. I love them.
We
They're
like
the
them
best
a lot.
band.
Yeah.
Along with Janubi.
Yes, we're big fans. And so, but they were playing to a show of about 50 people max. It was packed out.
And it was the best.
But I mean, in my head, the whole time there was this element of like, why is this band not bigger?
Yes, and at least we saw them bigger at the LMM stage, and that was amazing.
Like
when they played at the LMM stage, there were a few hundred people over there, and that was amazing.
But you would,
the sound was amazing.
I wouldn't expect that to happen, and then for you to be playing essentially a friend's show, right? Like I imagine a lot of people that were friends.
Absolutely.
With their friends.
So what's your question regarding that?
So my point is that how do we make Sikandar Kamanda a popular band?
So the question is, how should they be bigger?
Yeah, I'm doing free PR.
Yes, I think they should be bigger. I think they should be playing in huge stadiums and stuff. I wish they would be.
There's grassroots, right? There's grassroots, which there is none. Like,
because
for instance, you make the jump to LMM, right?
Huh.
You make the jump to LMM and you play to a few hundred people, or maybe even almost 1,000 people.
It's the venue, yaar. I don't think really the band takes that active role in deciding when they don't play to whatever crowd they play to. It's all a matter of platform. If there were more platforms in our society, that would be the best. You know, jab platform hota hai, to these bands show up. They want to play more.
Is there a lack of platforms though? Like sometimes I wonder, is there a lack of cafes that would be willing to
maybe. I mean, just yesterday I was thinking about if I were to ever launch a cafe or restaurant, I would want there to be a house band. How lovely would that be? I've never seen a restaurant or a cafe in Pakistan have a house band. I would love to have one, because at least that's what I saw growing up in Istanbul. The first 10 years that I spent over there, my parents, you know, like our family, my parents and my chachu chachi collectively owned a few restaurants together, and we had a restaurant in which there was a house band, and that restaurant did amazingly well, and that house band was very popular. That house band was so popular that after we were leaving, they started their own restaurant.
The band did?
The band. I kid you not. His name was Sali Bey. Okay? His name was Sali. We used to call him Bey, means Saab. Okay? Bey is sir. So we used to call him Sali Bey. So Sali Bey used to play with his female partner at our restaurant every single night, I think, if I remember correctly. I was very young. Definitely on the weekends. He used to definitely play on the weekends. And our restaurant used to be packed because of him. So I used to listen to them. And this is what I saw, that, you know, these house bands really made or broke the scenery at that restaurant. So I would love for there to be a restaurant in Pakistan where there's a house band, is my point. Coming back to my point. I know I diverged for quite a bit.
No, but that's so
होने चाहिए यार, यहाँ पे platforms की और ज़रूरत है basically. I feel there's a need for more platforms. There are a lot of bands, and maybe the bands need to also collectively come together and voice this thing, that there needs to be more of a platform. अब मैं यही सोचता हूँ ना, जिधर हमने एक सिकंदर का मंदिर को देखा है अभी recently, उस जगह में अभी और bands क्यों नहीं आ रहे?
Yes.
Maybe that platform is not doing its job of hosting more bands. Maybe.
Which is
अगर हम साल में एक बार LMM देखते हैं, और क्यों नहीं कोई और events क्यों नहीं हो रहे? Maybe that's a question. Maybe LMM did such a great job of organizing that there aren't enough people who are capable of doing such a job. Maybe. मतलब कि it's very difficult putting together something like the LMM. So kudos to, you know, Natasha and Zara for putting that together. I don't know if there are enough, maybe there aren't enough people who are of that, you know, sensibility to make such an event happen.
पैसे नहीं है ना इंडी में.
नहीं, पैसे भी और वैसे ही sensibility की बात होती है ना. अब मैं ये नहीं, मुझे तो नहीं पता कि कितने पैसे उन्होंने लगाए या किस तरह उन्होंने अरेंज किया या कौन से ब्रांड्स, मुझे भी याद नहीं है कौन से ब्रांड्स इन्वॉल्व हुए हैं साथ या कौन से पार्टनर्स आए हैं ऑन बोर्ड. लेकिन द पॉइंट इज कि they went through a lot just to get that thing sorted and to host that. And doing it once a year is probably what they want to keep doing, but not more than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to do it more than once a year, I guess. A festival.
But I'll say that there needs to be more of those. Maybe that's what's missing. If you want a community of musicians coming together and music appreciators, music lovers, to come together more often, it's just as simple as more of these events need to take place. So more people need to just be brave enough to host such events. See, so it's all about those individual people who make their decisions, in a sense, in a way.
That's inspiring, I guess.
Hai na?
Yeah.
So the point is that if one person is listening to this podcast, or if however many people are listening to it, if they decide, I also hope that one person is, if they decide that they want to do something today, they should try.
Yeah.
It might make a humongous difference in whatever they want to do. Yes. That's all I can say. I mean, today, okay, how's this for a butterfly
You could be
effect?
Ashton Kutcher.
You, A.R. Abdurrahman Malik, you are Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
If you,
but
at
doesn't
one
he die
point,
at the end? Doesn't
I
like
don't
some
know.
terrible...
I don't remember the movie.
he ends terribly.
Forget the movie. Forget the movie. We're talking about the butterfly effect, the theorem, the theory of the butterfly effect. If you decided in London that, oh damn, I am so broke, I am so dead, I got nothing going for me over here, might as well go back to Pakistan and do something over there. And then you came over here. And then you worked over here with us. And then you became friends with us. And today we're sitting over here and talking about all of this.
Which one person is listening to.
Yes.
Hi, single listener.
Hello.
You're the culmination of a butterfly effect that's lasted 3 years.
And thank you for listening to us after 55 and a half minutes also. Which is that if you're over here, we're making this podcast because of you being over here. And so and it's also because I said yes to you. When you asked me today, should we record something? I said yes. If I had not said yes, let's say if I had said, आज mood नहीं है, तो फिर क्या होता? कुछ भी नहीं, आज कुछ भी नहीं होता, maybe किसी और दिन होता. लेकिन जो आपने पूछा, मैंने हाँ किया. ये सब चीजें butterfly effect है.
Okay, so it's been an hour. We've done well. We covered Subcultures and Coke Studio, and I think we've solved those 2 problems. So you're welcome, one listener who's listening.
I hope one listener is listening. And if that one listener is listening right now, they're going to comment.
It's my mom.
Okay, if your mom is listening right now, it's your mom.
Sorry, in the American,
so mom,
I'm
can you do one thing and just comment below at the end of this podcast,
my mom doesn't have a YouTube account.
Wherever you're listening to this, whatever you're doing, just comment this one word for me, which is Geronimo.
Geronimo. J-E-R-O-N-I.
No, it's not with a J. Come on.
Really?
Geronimo. Geronimo. Geronimo.
Yes.
Please put this in the comment. If anybody has heard this part of this podcast, make sure to write Geronimo in the comments section.
So that's a good... we should do this.
Yeah! I just figured this out right now. If you have reached to this point, it's 59 minutes. We're gonna disconnect this at 60. We have another 55 seconds. If you've heard it to this point, make sure to comment Geronimo. I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Make sure to comment Geronimo.
I told you it's my mother.
Geronimo. Geronimo. Thank you. That's
all right.
Me signing out. Now, Abdurrahman, you can take over for the last 35 seconds.
Thanks very much, Yasser Puri. And that's the end of the first... I don't know what we're going to call this. I guess it's going to be called the Mosiki Mixtape. But I think we're going to go for that. First episode of the podcast. If you liked it, then please subscribe or whatever, like, or let us know what you think about Subcultures, Coke Studio. What do you think about Mohammed Mustasam? What do you think about Taylor Swift? Pop stars in Pakistan versus abroad. All of these fun things that we've discussed today.
Hadika Kiani.
So yeah, let us know what you think. Thanks for listening.